Once upon a time in the quaint village of Farmville, there lived two quirky dancers whose performances left everyone in stitches. The first dancer was Pete, a charming chicken with feathers like sunshine and enthusiasm that knew no bounds. Pete had dreams of becoming the most famous dancer in the animal kingdom. Every morning, he strutted to the big old barn to practice his moves, driven by the unwavering hope that one day he'd be celebrated for his dance. Pete's style was unconventional, to say the least. He'd jump with the excitement of a spring, flap his wings as if challenging gravity, and end his routines with a peculiar clap that sent echoes through the barn. Yet, despite his passion, Pete's moves were always offbeat, making him the subject of laughter, but never derision. On the other side of Farmville was Joe, a young man whose dancing dared to defy logic. Joe had a flair for drama and loved to perform in the town square, spinning gracefully until he inevitably stumbled over his own 2 feet. With twirls that could rival a cyclone and a whirl that often left his audience ducking for cover, Joe's dances were a spectacle. The town loved him for his courage, for every time Joe executed a no-go move, he did so with an infectious grin. One summer afternoon, Pete and Joe found themselves in an extraordinary situation, a dance-off called the Farmville Whirl. With hearts pounding, feathers fluffing, and shoes laced tight, they met in the center of the barnyard. Pete was the first to take to the dirt stage, launching into his unpredictable pattern of jumps and flaps, while Joe responded with footwork so wild that dust clouds danced in the air. As the sun dipped below the horizon, their dance seemed to create its own harmony, the kind that existed in laughter and perfect imperfection. It was then that they realized it wasn't about being on beat or flawless, it was about the joy they brought to those around them. The villagers cheered, declaring both Pete and Joe winners of the Farmville Whirl. The dance-off had become less about competition and more about celebration. From that day forward, Pete and Joe were known not just as dancers, but as friends whose unmatched spirit could bridge any gap, be it the gap between dance genres or the unlikely friendship between a man and his chicken.